Hi, welcome to my channel, Plantifically Wild, where we put plantifically and wild together and we never know where we're going to get. My name is, well, here's the problem. I have two names. I'm going to just let you choose which name you want because ever since 2007, this is how I roll. My birth name is April, which is a super cool name to talk about plants, right? But my yoga name, my spiritual name is Nakini. Rhymes with bikini, but it's spelled Nakini. And sometimes I talk about being Nakinified, which is kind of the more creative part of me and my process. So for example, when I put a plant in a pot, I look at it and I say to myself, is this Nakinified? Like, is this creativity, and does it spark my inner radiance? Is this pleasing to my eye? Is this the right pot for the right plant? And I consider it to be Nakinified. So yes, I have two names. Choose whichever one you want, because out in the world, sometimes I go by my birth name and sometimes I go by Nakini, and that is exactly one example of why I am calling my channel Plantifically Wild. Okay, so let's get into it. If you are here for learning about houseplants, education, creativity, community, inspiration, to laugh, to get to know your plant journey a little bit better, and maybe to add in some tips and tricks and things you didn't think of, or to try some things out with me, or to help a fellow plant lover such as myself, then you are in the right place. And this is my very first video on this channel. I am super excited. I've been thinking about this for years, and if I don't look at the screen as much as I should, it's actually because right now, ironically, in the world of Plantifically Wild, of course, screens are a challenge for me. Yeah, so my history is that, I'll get into that in a second, but my history is I'm someone who grew up gardening with my dad, loving plants outdoors. Yeah, and helping my mom plant the flowers around the house and things. And then when I went away to college, I was that person who, in my little single dorm room, I had a hanging plant hanging from my my bunk bed, and my bunk bed had my desk underneath. And I, at the time, did not know about the plastic, catch pots underneath the hanging basket, and so it would drip down. And so in order to water it, I would take it to the utility closet and I would water it, and I'd let it all drip out and I'd let it sit there. And then when I thought that it was ready to go, I would bring it back to my room. And I didn't know what the plant was called, but now I do. And I realize now that plant was called the asparagus fern, and it was very hard to keep alive. Okay, but I am now 54. 54. I am Gen X. I cannot believe I am 54. Anyway, the reason why it may be hard for me to start this channel and look in the screen is because oh my gosh, I just did the craziest thing to myself, and I hurt my neck on December 1st. Today is, as they say in the South, July. I didn't grow up in the South, but I lived in Atlanta for many, many years. And I love when the Southern accent comes in and people say, today is July. So today is July 24th, 2026. And I'm coming upon the 8-month mark of recovering from a concussion and what's called post-concussive eye syndrome. I hit my neck, my occiput on December 1st, and that in and of itself is a crazy story, but maybe I'll save that for the next day to let you know part of my journey. But I wanted to start this channel for the new year, and I had ideas, and then I hit my occiput and I damaged cranial nerves 3 and 4 that go to my eyes, and cranial nerve 9 that goes to my brain. And I've had trouble eye tracking, I've had trouble looking at screens, I've had trouble thinking, driving, walking next to people, eye tracking, pain in my eyeballs, headaches, and I am light sensitive. So my phone right now that I'm recording on is in night mode, and I'm often wearing around town hats and sunglasses over my glasses so that I am less light sensitive. And we're working on new eyeglasses that will have magnets with different lenses so that I could more easily see the screens. But I just decided to come out and meet you guys and talk to you. What are you going to learn about houseplants right now? I don't know right now what you're going to learn, but you're going to have an introduction to me. One of the things that I like to do is I tend to incorporate flowers a lot into my life. I have ever since my 20s. I just feel like I need that in my life. So for example, today I have on this hat that has these flowers. It's not sponsored. I am going to take off my hat. I look like I'm like Laura Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie or something. How flat my hair is, and I'm getting gray. But yeah, this hat is Catherine Holmes, and oh my gosh, the back of it says plant native flowers. I didn't know that. Are you planting native flowers? If so, what are you planting? I live in Central Oregon, and I know that one of the flowers that is native to this area is the lupin, although I say lupine, but it's the lupin, and those are really pretty. So anyway, yes, that's a little bit about me. I've been recovering from a concussion, but what came out of that is, even though my first plants on my own were in my college dorm room, and ever since then, in any place I live, studio, apartment, garage, as a roommate, just having a little porch, having a humongous backyard and a humongous garden, to now I rent a place with 3 stories, and I went from 50 plants to 75 pretty quickly. I just needed that like last fall. My kiddo turned 16, and I was like, oh, I just need some more plants, you know, because we're kind of individuating and starting to separate, and I just needed some extra nourishment. So to celebrate his birthday, I got myself a few plants, some begonias actually, and I'm gonna take these off now so you can see my eyes. But anyway, I then just started acquiring more plants, and then when I had my neck trauma that happened, I just really realized how important it is to take care of plants. It was winter time. I was very sick, feeling very nauseous, and I couldn't drive anymore at night. I had trouble driving. I had trouble doing the things that I would do, trouble working in my job, and I did a lot of resting. And honestly, the one thing that has kept me alive throughout this whole time, and hopeful that I can heal, is plant care. And I would just water my plants, and I was very woozy in my head. When I turned my head went whoosh, and then I turned it the other way, and my whole like brain and head went whoosh. whoosh. So just to turn my head was a challenge. And I would just know that my plants were depending on me, the ones I already had, and that I was inspired by them. So it's like, you know, we are plantifically wild, but we're also inspired. And in this journey of life, it is wild. I mean, sometimes like a plant, we are growing and thriving, and we're strong, and we're tall, and we're vibrant, and we're green, and we are so alive. And then you get mealybugs, and you have like the little white fuzzy things all over your leaves, and you're sickly, and you're tired, and you're beat down, and I mean, you may die, but you know, with a little neem oil. And here's the trick. Okay, so for the white, if you have today, this is the reason why you're watching this video, not just to meet me and to hear my story, and part of why I'm starting this channel, but you're going to get a trick or a tip about what's it called? What's that called? The white stuff. I just lost my train of thought. The little white stuff. The mealybugs, or spider mites, the little things. But one of the tricks is to use neem oil, and that really helps. And also to use alcohol. Put a little alcohol in a spray bottle and spray that on along with the neem oil, and a little bit of Dr. Bronner's peppermint oil soap. That's just the one that I know of. I'm sure there's other brands, I just don't know. And spray that on, and then wipe it down. Give it a little fertilizer, make sure that it gets stronger, and then it'll come back. And I've had a few plants recently that have had the mealy bugs on it and the spidery mildew, and I sprayed them, and they it took a few days, but they've come back. And spray all the other plants around it, right? So to make it so that it can heal. So even though I've had this concussion now for almost 8 months, I have made so many good healing strides, and I am finally to the point where I feel ready to start my channel and to start the videos and to just get this out here. And so what I did was I just watered all my plants, and it was so therapeutic for me, so therapeutic. And now like I said, I live in a rental where I have 3 stories, and I don't have much furniture. I really don't. I have a kitchen table, and I have, you know, a bed and side table, and a bed and side table for my son. And other than that, I just have plants. And I've turned one of the rooms, it was going to be my office, but it kind of turned into a plant room. So now I've been super curious about all these different kinds of plants and things that I just didn't experience years ago because I didn't know about them. I did not know that alocasias even existed. Like, how sad is that? I don't know. I'm not a big shopper, and if I was at a box store, I feel like whenever I was looking for plants, that I just didn't see them. I didn't know them. I mean, I knew things like, you know, pothos and the little plants you can get at the grocery store, and violets, and palm ferns, and the money trees, and the Christmas cactuses, things like that. And of course, I did know about snake plants, but I didn't get them. But anyway, I'm digressing right now, which I'm going to do a lot. It's kind of like a, how can I describe my style in this video is just going to be kind of like a popcorn style. I mean, that is why we are plantifically wild. But yeah, and part of it too is I really realized just how much the plants have helped me to heal. I'm gonna be real here for a minute. There were days in the winter where, okay, just imagine you can't drive at night. You can barely drive 10 minutes down the road without feeling sick. It hurts to turn your head. You have massive headaches. You have eye pain where it feels like somebody's stabbing your eyeballs. And I also went through this thing where it felt like I had the weight of bowling balls on my eyeballs. And then gradually over the months, that's gone down from bowling balls to, I called it pool balls. I now have pool balls that are on my eyeballs. And then it went to, I have a weighted wet blanket on. And now that pressure's gone, but what is remaining is the pain in the eyeballs, especially on the left, that comes and goes. And like, for example, I tried to dance the other night, and I did dance for a little while, but I got pretty excruciating pain that lasted over 24 hours afterwards. So, you know, I'm still in it, I'm still getting it, but guess what? I practice dancing with plants. Now, I don't have a plant in my car, but I have cherries that I just ate, which is a plant, so we're gonna go with it. But I would dance, and I would practice kind of eye tracking, dancing with the cherries, you know? And I have a thing going on where if something is like off to the side, it's easier for me, but if it gets into my periphery, it gets harder. So I was practicing dancing with, you know, a plant, and it was actually a little cactus, but these are cherries. These are the best cherries. Cherries are my favorite in the summertime. Also blueberries. But anyway, this is just, I'm in the car right now. I'm not even near all my plants, but it is, like I said, July 24th, 2026. And I now have, well, I tried to count, but I kind of lost track of counting. And sadly, because it has been around 90 to 95 degrees here and I don't have air conditioning, some of my plants did die. I had a couple that died recently. So in trying to count my plants, I've had about 230. Might be slightly a little more, and now it might be slightly a little less, but the cool thing is they have meant the world to me. They have meant the world to me, and I have been able to watch them every day, like getting a new leaf, how the color becomes more vibrant or less vibrant, right? And in my life right now, I just feel like, because of my condition, and as you get to know me, you'll know that I have another condition and I'll save that for another video, but it has to do with my ears, my hearing, and I'm just not as I'm just not like a blooming, beautiful Oklahoma rose, which I used to own, that smells so fragrant and so lush and so sexy and juicy and beautiful, and just constantly like giving back, and like the life of the garden, right, where that's what you see, and it's beautiful and it's so appreciated and loved. And I mean, I don't know if that's a good analogy. It really isn't. But if I were to consider just even a few years ago how my whole life was like this beautiful rose in so many ways, and now it just feels like I'm like you know, kind of a dying twig in a plant that hasn't been watered for a while, filled with like the powdery white mildew, then, and kind of sick and struggling, then yeah. But I'm not all that. And I can and am and will be plantific. And to me, that is a word like terrific, but it's plants and it's vibrant and it's alive. So plantifically. And wild is kind of like, oh, this journey, this life that sometimes it's really great and exciting, and other times it's really hard and really kind of bad, but it's all still plantifically wild, you know. And in the wild, not everything is perfect, you know. Like right now I'm sitting in my car and I am looking out at lavender. I'm also sitting here and having to eye track the cars coming by, and one of the reasons I pulled over is because they just scraped the road near where I live, and I was getting a little shook up in my head. So I decided to pull over, and I've been listening to some videos, and oh my gosh, it's 1:11. It is 1:11 here. I've been listening to some videos on how to start YouTube channels, and it's 1:11, and that is like the number of angels, I believe. And I am going to actually stop the video and say thank you for letting me introduce myself. And if you love houseplants, this is the place to be. There will be some surprises, like I'm going to sing songs, write poetry. I'm going to do some rants and raves and some storytelling and some like life lessons and investigations, and I'm going to talk about plant care and watering and what kinds they are, like the alocasias that I mentioned. April loves alocasias. Yes, yes, yes. So yep, now it's 1:12 and time passes, and as time keeps passing, I realize that I just need to start. I just want to start my channel, even if me looking at a screen, if it has to be on night mode, if I don't know how to edit. I'm gonna have to learn how to edit, but I probably don't really want to edit, and it's gonna be okay if it's kind of all over the map, because it's kind of what it is. And yeah, it's plantifically wild. So I look forward to connecting with you some more. Share in the comments if you have ever found plants, your house plants, to be a way to get through life. Like, have you struggled with something? Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to write your struggle and then a plant that has helped you, whether it be the name of a plant, a kind of a plant, or just plants in general. And so I'm going to start with college. I got a plant to help me through college, and it was an asparagus fern. That was the one of the ones that I remember, along with azaleas, because I missed the azaleas from home and I was away at college. And, ooh, it's getting hot in here. I think I'll turn on the air conditioning. So yeah, write in the comments if there's a time in your life that plants have helped you through. Like for me, the past 8 months, caring for houseplants have been my world, especially when it has gotten dark at night. Now that it's summertime, even when it's dark at night, and I know that, you know, people might be out at a party, or they're out at a concert, or they're still on the lake paddling or doing all the things I used to do, I'm home and I am lovingly caring for my plants. So let me know if you can relate. And here is to healing. Here is to growth, like a beautiful plant. It's wild that I don't even have a plant to show you in my first video. I do have a bee, which likes to pollinate plants. I got this purse. I'm gonna give these people a plug because I like them. This purse is handmade, and it is handmade by a woman in Hood, well, actually 2 women in Hood River, and it's called Ragamuffin. So if you like this purse, they make one-of-a-kind purses. But here's a bee. So no, I'm not showing you my plants right now, but I am showing you that I love plants. Oh, and my dress here is, my dress has flowers on it. So anyway. Yes, I love to have plants all around me, and so this is going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to showing you my plants someday, doing a plant tour and talking about plants. And so let me know, have plants got you through? Plants have definitely gotten me through. I'm very, very, very grateful. And by caring for the plants, looking at them, seeing them get more vibrant and beautiful and showing me growth, it has also shown me hope. And I did have a recent infestation on a few plants of, I don't even know what to call them. They're white and kind of powdery. I guess the little powdery mildew. And I was able to get rid of them. And so I know that I am strong. I am strong like a plant. I know that I am loving, that I am loved, I am appreciated, and that the world, including you are ready to join me in a community where we learn about plants together. We talk about plants, and the most important thing is we have fun and we appreciate plants. Okay, I am signing off. Thanks for joining me on Plantifically Wild. If you would like to be one of my first subscribers, please do so. I would be honored. All right, I'm gonna look at the screen. I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you for being part of Plantifically Wild. Have a good day.